I think you are a very bright, very special young woman. This is Pretty Woman. So, what did we cover today, Lindsay?
We covered Pretty Woman. This came out in 1990, directed by Garry Marshall and written by J.F. Lawton, adapted from the play Pygmalion.
Also, fun fact about the writer, he was only 30 at the time.
Who wrote Pygmalion?
No, who wrote Pretty Woman.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, a 30-year-old guy wrote this movie.
Interesting.
I know, right? For people who are unfamiliar with Pygmalion, it's the story of a guy who quote unquote fixes a girl and makes her into like a classy lady, and then they fall in love. So examples that I had in the notes are My Fair Lady, of course, that's the biggest example. Can't Buy Me Love, Pretty Woman, of course, and She's All That. So that's the Pygmalion
Oh,
trope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see it a lot, a lot, a lot. Like
A
so
lot.
a
Like, lots of
lot.
slivers of it everywhere.
Every movie, any movie where a girl has like a big makeover and like fixes herself to, get a guy, that's the Pygmalion kind of trope. But yeah, just a little background on that story and how many times we've seen this story. And who's in this movie, Lindsay?
This movie stars Julia Roberts as Vivian Ward, Richard Gere as Edward Lewis, Hector Elizondo as Barney Thompson, Laura San Giacomo as Kit DeLuca, and Jason Alexander as Philip Stuckey.
Boo.
Yeah, big loser.
I hate him.
I hate him in every single movie he's in.
Thank you. I hate him too. Oh my god, that's so funny.
He's
You're
so
a Jason
awful.
Alexander hater too.
I am a big Jason Alexander hater.
Me too.
He's
the
like,
worst part of Seinfeld. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
He's the worst part of anything
everything.
He's in. And yes, oh my god, he's so smug.
I can't stand him. Oh my god,
he
was driving me crazy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, everything he's in, he
like
pisses
this
me off.
And Shallow Hal. Oh my god,
I hate that man.
hate him.
Woo!
So why did we pick this movie?
Well, I've never seen this movie, so this is my first time watching this movie at 38 years old. So this was
That's
wild.
Like really impressive.
Thank you.
Really impressive.
I'm such a persnickety bitch. I just never wanted to see it. I never had any interest. This was the biggest movie in the world when I was growing up, like literally. Probably the first like 3 to 5-ish years of my life. This was the biggest movie. I heard about it everywhere, saw it replicated everywhere. You know, it's just so ingrained in early 90s, late 80s pop culture that I feel like I've seen it. And it's quoted all the time, you know, the big jewelry snapping box moment. I've seen that 5,000 times, you know. So a lot of this movie just felt like I've already seen it, so I wasn't really interested.
Yeah.
But this is my first time actually beginning to end seeing the movie itself. Lindsay and I were looking for something to cover for the second part of Women's History Month. So we decided to go with a quote unquote like girly pop movie. And she suggested Pretty Woman because she's been telling me to see it for years.
We've been really needing a girly pop movie too.
Yeah, we do one every season around this time. I don't know if we planned this exactly, but this is exactly the same time last year that we did Miss Congeniality. So
interesting.
We've got like a little rhythm going to our how our season is built.
I think there was also a big anniversary for this movie too.
Oh,
like the 35th or just passed or something.
35th was last year. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, big anniversary. Never seen it. Women's History Month. Why did you want to talk about this movie?
Honestly, just because you've never seen it. I hadn't watched it in a really long time. And I don't really know what to take away from that because I know I watched it a lot growing up and there's no telling what I've internalized.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were indoctrinated.
Probably
early,
makes a lot of sense, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
does. Not just you though, but like 2 whole generations of white women were taken down by
Yeah.
this movie.
Absolutely.
Not me though.
Well,
Marked safe.
yeah, you
Marked
got
safe from
by.
Pretty Woman.
Gosh.
It's okay though. I had my own you know, the teen movie genre that was eating me up in the early 2000s, so it's fine. I had She's All That. So, you know, we all get got one way or
different
another.
fonts of the same idea.
Exactly. And my mom had My Fair Lady. So, yep.
Mm-hmm.
We never stop telling this story. Speaking of which, what happens in this story?
A business trip in LA, businessman Edward Lewis meets Hollywood sex worker Vivian Ward. The two agree to a week-long business proposition, only to be seen by each other and find love despite their differences.
So, Lindsay, what is the overall theme of this movie?
Well, for me, I played around with these, but I said traditional romance, classist aesthetic, and socioeconomics.
Yeah. Socioeconomics is like a huge factor in this story and in the concept of what romance is as well. Like the whole romantic plot is she's not going to be poor anymore, and that she doesn't have to do sex work anymore. Yeah, because he's going to quote unquote save her.
Oh, I hate so much the concept of like, in order to find love, we have to find a man that's going to save us.
Ugh. And give up everything we know and like about ourselves.
Yeah. Like, let me just say,
such a bummer.
who Vivian was is literally what every cool girl is today.
I was just going to say, I think I have it in the notes later on. I was like, cool girls.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, yo, Vivian was a quote unquote capital CG cool girl.
Yeah.
But not like the male gaze kind of cool girl at first. But, you know, then of course she loves cars. So,
yes. Of course.
She grew up with brothers. She loves cars. She's close with her grandpa. She's a cool girl.
That's all we know about her.
She's a cool girl. No, literally, that's all we know about her. I like the little shout out to Julia's hometown in Georgia. That was cute. But yeah, I had similar ones from a cultural perspective as well. I think just very patriarchal look at romance, and I put, because it's a male writer, it's a male director, it's a male-led story, I put that it's men kind of grossly misunderstanding what women feel. Is like a major theme in the movie, and then also behind the scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
And like you, I said, you know, the need to take care of or quote unquote save women instead of us taking care of each other, which is much more accurate to real life. They do throw it a little bit in there with Viv and Kit and like what happens to them at the end. But yeah, this need to save people who are going through a hard time, even if they're not asking for that. It's just such a like, every guy thinks he's like Prince Charming, and I'm like, trust me, you're not. You're not. I also said the hopelessness of economic hardship, like how Kit's character represents that, of just, she's like, I'm stuck here. I don't want to leave. I don't think I want anything quote unquote better or deserve anything better, or, you know, Kit is just very like uncurious about her surroundings, and she doesn't want to go anywhere. I love that quote right at the beginning of the movie where Vivian asks Kit, like, don't you want to get out of here? And she's like, get out of where? Kit, she just exists. Which, you know, there's a like plus and minus to that. It's kind of cool to see Kit be the one who's much more like comfortable and just secure with her identity and where she's at. She's just like, this is who I am. This is what I do. It's fine. It works for me. And then Vivian to be like the moral center of the movie. She's the one who's like, I need to be better. I'm more than a hooker. Like that whole
Yeah. Do
language.
you this is like interesting to get into when you know about like the original screenplay
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and how much darker it was going to be.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
read that Kit's character was created and a lot of those original screenplay ideas of who Vivian was made into who Kit is.
Yeah, you can feel that she was put there to be the kind of quote unquote like bad hooker of
Yeah.
the story,
Yeah.
to Vivian's hooker with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Like
the different one.
the different one. Yeah, she's above it all
She's
kind
special.
of thing. She's not like other girls. She's a cool girl. She loves cars. She knows how to tie a tie. But yeah, I honestly, Viv at the beginning of this movie is such a slay. I love her.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay,
I
so
loved her.
when I was watching this when I was younger, I loved this so much just because of Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she's fantastic in this.
Her character in the beginning and even her character throughout the movie, I just love her. But everything else outside of that is a blur.
Yeah. So what's your history with this movie? You've already kind of gotten into it, but
Yeah. I think I watched it a lot growing up, and my mom loves Julia Roberts, so of course I loved Julia Roberts when I was younger. I've seen probably almost all of her movies.
Yeah, same. I think I've seen almost everything she's been in at this point. So you weren't there, but like Julia Roberts was like the Leonardo DiCaprio of my day. Like she was the biggest fucking star in the world for about a decade. Like from the time I was 2 years old until I was like 15.
Wow.
Julia Roberts was the
I get it.
It's like her, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, and then everybody else.
Which is funny because then they were in a movie together.
Yeah. Pelican Brief.
And another movie that I love.
Yeah. She was the biggest star in the world when I was growing up. Everybody was obsessed with her. She basically had top pick of any project in Hollywood. She was just, this movie just moved the culture, and not just American culture, even though it is a very American story, which I'll get into a little bit later, just like the economics of it all. But the like global culture was influenced by this movie in a huge way. Like she became an international superstar overnight because of this.
That's just so interesting. Especially considering how many other actresses turned it down before she was casted.
Yeah, I think I had asked you this during the Portrait of a Lady on Fire episode, because the mother in that was also up for Vivian.
Right.
And
maybe that's what started the idea in our brains. Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yeah, because when we were doing research for Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I was like, oh shit, she was supposed to be Pretty Woman? Crazy. I think during that episode I had asked you, what do you think this movie would have been if it was Valeria Golino instead of Julia Roberts? And I really think the reason this movie was so successful is because of her.
Yeah, absolutely. The movie is just falling in love with Julia Roberts the entire time.
Literally, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, like no one else could do that.
She is a charisma bomb in this.
Yeah.
She's perfect. I love what you have here about Vivian's soft heart and her being a lover girl.
Yeah, I think she's a logical lover girl. She's a sex worker with boundaries, which, like, when this was made, it feels like so ostracized, but also really, really legitimate. She's a logical lover girl, a yearn to take care and be taken care of.
Yeah. I also think that she's speaking to the logistical nature of Vivian. She's practical. She's not right away like this desperate romantic who wants to be fixed,
Yeah.
or saved by Edward. It's not. It takes her kind of a long time to come around until really I think after that first big dinner um with Edward and his like business associates before she's kind of like, all right, like I'm having a little fun with this. I can maybe do this, but I feel like up until that point she's very much just like, this is business. You're a business
Yeah.
person, I'm a business person.
Yeah, I loved that concept. Like, they are just two people that know business. Like, this is
Yes.
strictly business.
Mhm.
And I also like that he had that perspective too.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah, like I said, practical. So I want to quickly talk about one article that we read as research for this episode by Noah Berlatsky, that Ravishly review you had put in the notes. He was tearing this movie up.
Yeah.
He was like, this movie is stupid, it's crass, it's embarrassing. I was like, all right, I get it. It is. It definitely is. But yeah, my favorite quote of that review, which is just so scathing, he was going ham. But he did say, and this is something that I do agree with, and we touched on it a little bit earlier already, but he says, by Pretty Woman's logic, sex workers deserve to be treated like real people so long as they're sufficiently pretty and charismatic. Which was such a burn, and
Yeah.
very much true in this story, at least, of how the only reason that Vivian gets away with a lot of what she gets away with, and the only reason that Vivian, quote unquote, rises above her station in life and gets upgraded, to a respectable, acceptable woman in society, is because of because she's charming and because she's pretty.
If they went with the original idea,
Yeah,
and had Kat's character be Vivian, it wouldn't be the same.
yeah, I agree.
It goes back to my classist aesthetic and also the patriarchy.
Yeah,
just Stucky being one of the bros, and his behavior is acceptable, yet Vivian's behavior is trashy,
disgusting. Yeah, she's not a lady.
and she isn't she's not a lady of society. But
right.
Stucky, he didn't even actually get fired, it feels like.
I don't know. I was gonna ask you about that. It's just he gets punched in the face after he tries to rape Vivian. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Didn't know that was happening. But yeah, he just gets punched in the face and like, get out of here, and that's it. I'm like, damn.
Like,
but you're right.
after the second
behavior...
time that she said something about it too.
Yeah, she's like, no, this dude is weird. Like, I don't like the way he speaks to me. He's there's something wrong about him, and Edward's just kind of like, well, he's my lawyer.
It's always after the fact, because like Edward knows. He knows what type of man this is.
Yeah, he can barely stand him himself, but
yeah,
it's almost like you don't value Vivian enough to not put her in that position. And as soon as he's questioned about her one time, he's like, okay, yeah, she's a hooker, and like doesn't think about like how that puts her in danger.
Yeah.
And kind of puts out that signal to Stucky that he can take advantage of her, and just use her like she's like an object. And I really, really didn't like that. It felt like Edward, a lot of this movie, was trying to have it both ways as far as like the respectability politics of Vivian, but then also not really wanting to take accountability for how shitty the men in his life are as well,
Yeah.
But, typical for a man, especially a white man, to just be like, well, he's fine. What do you mean? That's my friend. And I'm like, he's a rapist. What do you mean that's your friend? Are you crazy?
I feel like I don't hear much topic about like the age dynamic also, and like the age dynamic of an older man having this young woman and molding her into who he wants her to be.
Yeah. Do you mean within the movie or just the story overall? Like, do you mean like the characters in the movie should have been commenting on it, or?
I guess like discussion about this movie, like
Oh.
articles that I've looked up,
Mhm.
a lot of them don't really touch the age dynamic.
That wasn't a thing at the time, unfortunately. Like, I mean, that was much, much, much more normalized back then. Age gap relationships. I had it later on in the doc, but yes, she was 22 and he was 40.
Yeah.
He was old enough to be her father. I was like, yuck.
And like I mean, she did a beautiful performance, but you can tell when she was very young and uncomfortable.
Yes, yes. One of the other articles you had us read where she Julia Roberts was so scared to do her big like sex scene that she broke out in hives and they couldn't film it.
Yeah.
Because she was so scared. And they're like, just give her some calamine lotion and let the hives go away and then we'll shoot. I was like, Jesus Christ. The 90s, the 80s were fucking crazy. Like
I unfortunately I love the intimate scene between them where her forehead vein pops out. But now learning it was because she was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just adds such a different taste to it.
I know. She was terrified.
Yeah. Of this I unfortunately am very attracted to Richard Gere.
No, he's super hot. That's how the Vogue article ends, by the way. I don't know if you got to read the end of it because of the paywall, but the end of that article is like, unfortunately, Richard Gere is very hot. And I was like,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks so fucking good in this movie.
He does.
God damn. Woo! Drop the skincare routine because holy shit. Like, he looked so healthy, I think is the word I'm looking for. Just beautiful skin, just beautiful hair, very luscious, you know, like luscious. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Put together very well.
Yes. Luscious. Ooh. He looked so goddamn good. It does make it harder to
like, of course it makes it hard to not like a movie when the two people starring in it are freaking beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, they're super hot and have super hot chemistry. I'm like, damn. Damn.
Unfortunately, very, very good chemistry.
I was like, yeah, I get it. Fuck. They're hot together. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so I can't remember which article, but one of the articles that we read talked about how Julia Roberts and Garry Marshall basically had to go to Richard Gere's apartment and convince him to make this movie.
Yes, that was the stories behind the screen article.
Yeah. And when you have all of them together and you see how beautiful and how great of chemistry they have, like, of course, like this movie is going to blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't think it would have been as successful as it was without. I feel like I'm going to give Richard Gere credit too. It's the both of them and how they play off of each other and how good they look together. Even just like height wise, like Julia Roberts is tall. And I feel like a lot of times with tall women in Hollywood, they put them in these roles of like trying to make them smaller, or if you're certain male celebrities, you wear lifts in your shoes so that Tom Cruise, Kit Harington, all our 5'6", 5'7" kings out there. Just be short. We don't care. Every fucking male Hollywood star is a tiny little thing. But anyway,
just to give context, some of the other people that were being considered for Vivian's character, Daryl Hannah, Molly Ringwald was considered. Also, Winona Ryder was considered briefly.
Meg Ryan was a big one.
Meg Ryan.
She was like, no.
Yeah, which is also interesting. Which just makes me like Julia Roberts more.
Yeah, she was, well, the thing is, she was like a 22-year-old. She'd done like only a couple movies at that point. She was probably like, yeah, give it to me. This is my big fucking break. Are you crazy? Why would I turn this down? Whereas the women I think they were trying to cast originally were very established, very, very vanilla, quite frankly. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to put it. Just Meg Ryan. Can you imagine Meg Ryan being a hooker? You know?
No.
No. Like, she's just, there's people that they were trying to go for to, because this was a Touchstone production, which is, it used to be a movie company under Disney. It doesn't exist anymore. But when I saw that Touchstone, that blue line go across the screen, I was like, oh my God. Oh, so
Honestly, I
nostalgic.
did not know that Disney
This is a Disney
was the
movie.
one. Because at some point I realized I was, oh my God, this is on Disney Plus. It's a Disney movie.
Yes, this movie is streaming on Disney Plus right now.
That's so funny.
Alongside fucking Elio and the MCU, yeah.
But some others that were considered for Edward's character was Al Pacino.
Yeah. Yuck.
And Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, there's more too. I put some more in here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Kevin Kline, Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Like, it truly only works with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts.
Yes. And I think there's, oh man, it really is like lightning in a bottle with them. But back to some of the gross stuff. Edward is very much a red flag kind of guy.
Like the nitpicking and the don't do that, do this, sit like that.
Yes.
Go get these dresses. Very controlling and possessive.
Very controlling. Very, don't say this, don't do that, don't. Yeah, just. And again, I think a whole generation of multiple generations of women have internalized that as like a way that a man shows that he cares about you or that he's trying to make you better or quote unquote fix you, is the constant nitpicking and criticizing of
like
just...
it's could be up in the air that they were actually in love with each other, or he also saw her kind-hearted nature and that he could manipulate her.
Woo! That's a very dark, very realistic read of it. Yeah. I mean, he's like, well, she's, like you said, there's that, not only the age gap power dynamic, but the socioeconomic power dynamic there, where I think she says it at one point, like, you're not my boss. And he kind of is, you know, like it's, or
like, it's just the concept that she has so much to learn from him, like with class and how to have etiquette. It really goes back and forth because he loves having her around and she's aware of that because of the reality of how boring his life is.
Yes, that was in one of the articles we read. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been the one about the one from the Australian sex workers talking about this movie. But they said, yeah, like his life was so fucking boring. And one of the sex workers said that a lot of her clients are like Edward in real life, you know, just nothing going on, kind of dead behind the eyes, just bland, nothing people who are looking for that spice, that excitement, and something to... it's funny, I said something, not someone. Something to like spice things up for them, to make them seem powerful, special, desired, important. You know, so much goes into this dynamic of the worker and the client, and the late 80s, early 90s, like gender politics of the late 80s were not it. They were not it, dude. That was the 88, I think, was the first year that women were allowed to own businesses on their own. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's the year I was born. So, the gender dynamics of the late 80s, early 90s, Lindsay, you would have been fucking crawling out of your skin. It was bad. It was really bad. Men talk to women like fucking dogs a lot of times. Like, fucking idiots like children. And he does it in this movie too, where he's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
he
not
treats
much
her like
has
a child.
changed.
Yeah.
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 It's, I guess, thinking about how they're both business people,
Mm-hmm.
like her idea of not kissing makes a lot of sense, but I don't understand why he doesn't want to kiss. Like, what do you mean?
I know, that was some sociopath shit.
Yeah.
She was like,
Like,
I don't kiss. And he was like, I don't either. I'm like,
what do you,
wait.
you're not the sex worker here. What do you mean?
Are you okay? You're 40, you don't kiss people? Like, what was that?
Yeah.
Or maybe he meant, I don't kiss sex workers, which, I don't know. Maybe that's what he meant, but still, woo, there's some very, like, misogynistic stuff at play here.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I did want to mention my last little point.
Yes.
A lot of just, I want to hear, like, your thoughts on if you actually liked the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really do like this movie. I think a lot of discussion around this movie is rooted in Vivian's sex work as not legitimate. And I think there's a lot of internalized misogyny in that.
Yes.
Like, to me, watching this movie, Vivian had the power. Like, as soon as she saw the situation and knew, I've got this guy in my fingers, like, she had the power, and she always did.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with you. Yes. So did I like the movie? I did. I actually, here's how I liked the movie. I loved the aesthetics.
Yeah.
I thought it looked great, just very classic, 90s rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the music. Very nostalgic for me because, like I said, this was like the biggest movie in the world when I was a kid. So a lot of that music was just washing over me. I was like, wow, I've heard King of Wishful Thinking on the radio so many times. So for years, that song just always was on the radio. And the Roxette one too, massive. That was also always on the radio. So like the music, the clothes, finally connecting like a huge big picture, not big picture, sorry. Haha, that's my favorite podcast. A huge pop culture moment and putting that puzzle piece together was fucking great. But I wouldn't say I loved it.
Yeah.
I think if it was ever on somewhere again, I would definitely watch it. I don't know if I would choose to like just put it on. Maybe if I was like cooking or something. Yeah. I think this would be like a good, for me, like a good background, like you just throw it on while you're doing something else kind of movie.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like totally appreciate it for that. But a lot of the messaging, like I said, is just straight up misogynistic, and it's not coming from women. This is a story about a man, written by a man, directed by a man, sold by men, and then it gets repackaged as, oh, this is a chick flick. What chicks were involved besides the actresses? None.
Yeah.
So it's that classic kind of men making products that then become kind of pink washed and turned into like feminist girl boss type of text. But no, I definitely didn't hate it. I was very worried that you had led me astray. I was like, is she gonna recommend me something that I'm gonna fucking hate?
I was worried too.
I didn't. It was a very, very easy watch.
Okay, good.
I was like, aw.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I don't know the last time I saw it, but when I was rewatching it, I was like, it's still a good movie, but there's a lot to discuss.
Yes. Oh yeah, there definitely is. The thing that really stuck out to me that we haven't talked about yet is Vivian is super fucking smart. And the way that they show it, she's like that mix of street smart, but also I feel like she's just smart.
Yeah.
And and this is again another big thing in romance and rom-coms especially, but how I just noticed how smart women pretend to be dumb to survive in the world. Just like you just like that performative aspect of femininity, of womanhood. She really by the end of the movie has like sanded off everything that was edgy about herself,
Yeah.
you know, and she does that through changing her hair, changing her clothes, all of that, but also she had this weird, and it doesn't make sense geographically, but she had that kind of street smart like New York accent at the beginning, and then by the end she's speaking more like a lady, more
Yeah.
refined. So her accent changes and her clothes change, and she just becomes like a polished version of her former like tough
Yeah.
girl, like cool girl self, you know?
Hmm.
And I just thought that was such a bummer, but honestly, I don't think it was intentional on a 30-year-old male writer's part to show this, but it is pretty indicative of how a lot of us have to navigate the world. Like smart women, we pretend to be dumb all the time. I do it. I do it to survive at work. I don't know. What's that? Nope, never heard of it. Can't do it for you. So that I'm not just dumped on at work and given tasks that I shouldn't be assigned, you know. So I pretend to be less capable than I am so that
Yeah.
I don't have to do more work than everybody else because of racism and sexism. I'm not your fucking company workhorse, and I'm not gonna, you know, organize people's birthdays because I'm a girl. Like, I'm not doing it. So I feel like Vivian very much has to play that game, you know, of you can see her wheels turning a lot too when she's dealing with Edward,
Yeah.
of when she's playing up like how tacky she is and trying to get a rise out of him, you know, when she's trying pretending to throw herself off the balcony, like that kind of stuff. Like she she fucks around with him. She toys with him. That's the word I'm looking for. In an interesting way. But I think by the end she just has to wear the clothes and do the hair and assimilate basically into his world
Yeah.
because the movie is really about him, not her.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer.
It's so interesting because the movie is about him, but nobody cares about him.
Yeah. But he's in like almost every single scene.
Yeah.
The big moment before their like romantic moment is his business deal. Like that whole oh god, I
Yeah.
hated that scene. That was like anytime they're talking about that fucking business deal, I was like, ugh,
I'll
I
tell
don't
you,
care.
I don't even know. I don't even know what
don't
the business
care.
deal was about. Every single time that I watched this movie, I couldn't tell you a thing they are doing in that office.
Something about buying ships and buying a company that makes ships to do something. I don't fucking know.
I really don't know.
It's
Where's
some
Julia
billion-dollar
Roberts?
deal. It has something to do with fucking ships. So I was like, I don't care. Where is Vivian? Yeah, so those were definitely my least favorite scenes. What were some of your favorite scenes?
Well, the Rodeo Drive scene, obviously.
Iconic.
It's so iconic.
Yeah.
And I love how often it's replicated nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that
it's
is
just,
part of like pop culture.
yeah, like it can't help but put a smile on your face. I love some of the intimate scenes in this movie. I think they're so tender. Like when her forehead vein pops out. I remember my mom was obsessed with that scene. She was like, "Oh my god, she's so beautiful." But something about like the contrast of their chemistry on those sheets was just really beautiful. And also like the night at the opera when he's like watching
Yes.
her cry. Just
I love
just
that opera
so
scene too.
yeah. Just so gracious and soft.
Yeah, that's another I was just thinking that's another Portrait of a Lady on Fire connection. The sitting in the balcony at the opera
Yeah.
crying.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Did you
true.
Right? Did you notice what that opera was? Because I looked it up.
I did not, but I also looked it up, which it's My Fair Lady?
It's
Or,
Let's Traviata, which is a version of that
yeah.
same story, where a sex worker falls in love with her
hmm
client.
It's such a fun Easter egg.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I was like, I think this is La Traviata, but I gotta look that up, and it was.
What are your favorite scenes?
So I love that first night at the hotel together with them. I was locked in the second she steps into that lobby and everybody's staring at her
hmm
and she's in that beautiful, incredible knit dress. Oh, I love that dress so much. Um, when they get up to the hotel and you're kind of the expectation is it's going to be very like raunchy, very just kind of matter of fact, very transactional sex.
Yeah,
And you get upstairs and it's just them like on the floor together drinking champagne and
yeah.
watching I Love Lucy. So fucking cute.
It was so
So
cute.
cute. So charming.
Yeah. Just like, just really getting to see both of their personalities interact with each other.
Yeah. And how he's
And
still like loosening up and
yeah,
trying to not be so serious. And she's just on the floor eating snacks, giggling,
yeah.
having the time of her life.
Like
Just so
while
much fun.
she's on the clock, she's just snacking away. And he's just like,
As
just
she should.
experiencing her and just honestly falling in love with her.
Yes, you can see it in his eyes.
Yes. I think as soon as, I can't remember what seat or what her words were exactly, but when she was driving the car and she
Mm-hmm.
said something really just quirky and cute, and he has that look and he's like, there's
Oh.
something like, I like you.
Yeah, he thinks she is. I do like that this movie gives her the space to be funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very rare for female leads of this time, you know? It's usually that kind of more slapsticky,
Yeah.
butt of the joke funny, but this is just Vivian. Well, yeah, Vivian Julia Roberts. This is just Julia Roberts being cute and being funny,
Yeah.
and also being soulful at the same time. I just love that first hotel scene. Another one I had is when Vivian finally lets loose and feels like she belongs in this world and she gets comfortable and you get to see what she can really do in a crowd. The polo match. The polo
Yeah, it
match
was a good
was
scene.
really
Or
good. I liked that a lot. Seeing her just like schmooze and mingle and like I said, she's so street smart and she moves with such ease. She's a people person. Her
yeah.
job is being with people and knowing people and knowing people intimately. And you can see how the transferable skills, how those skills lead her to a polo match, and she fits right in, and she's having a blast. I really love that part.
I saw
What about you?
your note earlier about like imagine if she did have these resources.
Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I totally skipped by that. Yeah.
Like
Um,
imagine who she could be.
yes, I said she's so capable with an 11th grade education.
Yeah.
Imagine if she had had the financial support necessary for higher education or for a better career or lived in a better situation without a roommate who was spending her money on drugs. Just think of what she could have accomplished.
Yeah. Like if she were to have not gone with Edward and
Yeah.
moved to San Francisco with her
Hmm.
$3,000.
Yeah. Oh, that bummed me out too. I forgot to mention that part. Her giving up her education and her independence to be with that nigga. Oh my god,
I,
that shit had me sick. That shit had me sick, Lindsay.
yeah, I know. I would like to believe that she like furthered herself.
I hope
Because
so.
I think with
Girl.
these type of dynamics, I don't remember what we've also covered, but knowing at some point she's going to realize how much of a loser he is.
Oh my God. What was it we covered? Yes, where we talked about like that moment in every woman's life where they look over and realize,
Was
oh,
it?
fuck.
Oh, Diary of a Teenage Girl?
Yes. Yes, it was with Mary. It was Diary of a Teenage Girl.
Yeah.
And when you're young and you're like, oh my God, he's so cool. He's so hot. He's so.
Yeah.
And then one day you wake up and you're like, hell, you're a fucking loser. You're 35. Why are you with me? I'm 15. Yeah. Yeah. Very. Oh, this does have a little bit of that kind of dynamic.
Yeah, it's
ooh.
when you like this movie could have been a lot darker. And there are a lot of movies that are dark like that.
Yes.
So I'm glad we get a version like this, at least.
That's true. Yeah, we literally get like the Disney-fied Fairytale version.
Yeah, Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny that this is a Cinderella story.
Yes, and they mention it very very meta. They mention it in the movie Cinder fucking Rella. Another scene that I really liked a lot was their first kiss, like on the mouth. Is that the same scene as you were talking about, where they're in the bed together? That love scene? I think it is.
I think it was probably after. Yeah, like my scene, the first kiss, and then that scene.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is that the same moment?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah. That's some like 90s magic, like classic, big cinematic, you know, everybody thinks their first kiss is going to be like that kind of thing. Oh, that shit was good. I really liked that. Just incredible chemistry between the two of them, like I've said. Did you have any more?
Yeah. Our introduction to Vivian and Edward meeting on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
Because we should say, like, she had no intention of like anything romantic with him to begin with.
No, not at all.
She was just giving him directions and just being a kind person. Like, just outside of her working, she was like, oh yeah, I can give you these directions.
Yeah, I'll show you to your hotel, you dummy. Like, I'll drive your car for you. I love that. That is another like cool little touch on the script, and kind of that like anti-toxic man is that moment where he lets her drive that Lotus. That was fucking funny. Like, that was very cute. He's like, you know what? You drive. I don't know how to drive stick. I don't really know how to drive at all because I drive around in limousines. And she's like, oh, well, let me show that ass what this can do. Like,
they're like this is just a cute movie. Like, there's really cute little things throughout, like when she's driving and then you hear him talking to Stucky later, and he's like, yeah, what does he say?
And there's something about it, how it handles the corners. Yeah. He repeats Vivian's.
And she just overhears that.
Because she's the cool one.
Yeah.
And he just steals her whole thing and tells it to another guy. And he's like, what? Stucky's like, I don't know what that means.
Corners like it's on rails?
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. Corners like it's on rails. I was like, God, Vivian, you are so cool. Mm-hmm. Get away from him.
Who was your favorite performance?
So I picked Richard Gere. I don't know if you've seen him. What's your history with Richard Gere besides this movie?
Days of Heaven.
Oh, okay. Yep, we did see Days of Heaven together.
Nights Over Adanthe with Diane Lane.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen that one.
That's pretty much it.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, he's like, I don't know who in my family was, maybe it was my mom. Somebody in my family really, maybe it was my grandma. I don't know. Somebody in my family really liked Richard Gere growing up because I've seen a lot of his movies. I've definitely seen American Gigolo is what I wanted to bring up.
Oh.
So he played a hooker himself in LA. like 10 years prior to this movie. So I don't know if you know that, but this was like such little clever. It wasn't originally supposed to be him, so I don't think it was intentional. But the woman who cast this movie, Diane Crittenden, she ended up casting Richard Gere, who played basically the Vivian character in American Gigolo. A lot darker, that movie, though, because he ends up getting framed for like murder, and it's really fucked up. It's like the fucked up male sex worker version of Pretty Woman, but he's with like a hot, rich, older woman at that time. He's like the young, hot thing.
Oh, interesting.
Set in the same city.
That is
like
fascinating.
Yeah. I really want you to see American Gigolo to get that, like, I just love that Richard Gere is able to play both sides of the client and the sex worker 10 years apart. Such a fun little twist there. I loved that. He has such good chemistry with Julia Roberts, and the chemistry is so good that it did make me forget about the icky age gap for a lot of the movie. I was like, I'm
need to
choosing
revisit.
not to see it.
No, I need to revisit my values after this movie.
I cannot see. Therefore, it did not happen. No, they look like they belong together.
Yeah.
They're a gorgeous couple. And the way that he looks at her, when there's two scenes where it really, really shines through in his performance, how warmly he feels towards Vivian, aka Julia herself. I mentioned it earlier, but that scene, that first night in the hotel where she's on the floor watching I Love Lucy, the way that he's looking at her, whoo! He's like beaming, like glowing from within, just staring at her. Like how the way he looks at her is amazing. And then the piano scene. Damn.
Yeah. That's okay. That I remember that scene a lot from when I was younger.
Woo! That shit is hot.
Oh my God. Like him taking the robe and that black lingerie. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's some hot shit right there.
Hot.
I love the piano scene. Garry Marshall must have been watching the dailies from that. Like, oh fuck yeah. I have a winner. Ain't no way he didn't know this movie was gonna be a hit.
There's no way. And the piano scene, it was dubbed because the keys that they were pressing and that when it was actually being shot was so awful and like haunting, maybe.
Yeah.
They couldn't use it.
Yeah. I think I forget who they interviewed about that, but they said it was very discordant. That was the word.
Yeah.
Just hitting a lot of awful notes, and yeah, they had to go back in and put cute little notes in there. But yeah, that piano scene fucking rules. There's definitely like some standout moments of this where I would love to watch again, now that I think about it. In the Vogue article we keep mentioning, by, I want to say Rhiannon Phillip, maybe. She said that Richard Gere and Julia Roberts' chemistry is suffocating. And I love that description of the way they are on screen together. It's really something else.
Have you seen Runaway Bride?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh. It's literally just this all over. That same chemistry.
Bless up.
And I love that movie too.
Bless up. Yeah. You know how sometimes you can tell that the stars had a really good time making this and that they actually really like each other? This is that feeling I got. You could tell they were just like so happy to be around each other.
I think you could just tell that they had fun making this movie. Yeah. Which is what a lot of discussion, or what a lot of people said, that this movie was just great production.
Easy. Yeah. A lot of cast and crew, everyone who you had put in the notes for, who had been interviewed about this, they all just said it was easy. It was smooth, easy. Everybody got along. I was like, wow, what a fucking, when does that ever happen? You know, like nothing went wrong. The weather was perfect. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. It was like a really blessed project, which is very sweet and very rare, especially for, this time period. Like I said, there's no intimacy
Oh my god.
coordinators. There's no protections in place on set for young women to not be abused and taken advantage of. But Julia, Richard, everyone seemed to be really happy and had a great time, which, a relief. Quite a relief. So, who's your favorite performance?
My favorite performance was Julia Roberts, of course.
Of course.
I
And why?
I mean, she's just so captivating on screen.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you wake up with her in the afternoon before she starts working, you're just, at least I just lock in and I'm like, wow. Just every scene. Pretty Women, it's just getting to watch how she really became a star, maybe.
Yeah. A star is born. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the moment. You can see it on screen.
This was the blueprint. Because I think every movie after, you're just watching it for Julia Roberts. Like, I know any movie that Julia Roberts is in, I'm just watching it because for Julia Roberts.
Yeah, girl. I watched fucking After the Hunt for her, that Luca Guadagnino movie that came out last year. Fucking awful. Julia?
Was that
Innocent.
the one?
She was
that
great.
the one about like the
college professors? No, I Leave the World Behind. I watched that too because of her. No, I'm talking about this is after that. It's the guy who made Challengers and
oh, okay.
Call Me by Your Name. Is that him? Probably. I'm not sure. I've never seen it. Anyway, it's what he made Queer as well.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So yeah, After the Hunt, it was Julia Roberts and Andrew Garfield as college professors, and then Io Adebri is their student who, it's like a Me Too story. Ugh.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
After the Hunt sucks. But Julia, she's fucking perfect in it. She's great. She's such a bitch. Ugh. She's such a bitch in that movie. Anyway, yeah, she's a fucking star. Like we've said a million times. She's on 100 here. And I really understand why people at the time would have been obsessed with this movie. 36 years later, I still get it. I'm not obsessed with it, but I definitely understand the power of this work.
It is an American movie. It's a really American story.
Yes. The Marie Claire article we read about the two Australian sex workers, both of them brought up how American this movie is from a sex worker's perspective and from a non-American sex worker's perspective, which I can totally see. There's a quote from that article that says, To fit into the American dream, Vivian has to be rescued by a man, which is shown as a fantasy and impossibility in line with Cinderfuckingrella, when in reality there are many working class women who date clients or who climb the social ladder using their beauty, privilege, and sexual appeal to men till they are out of the industry and transcend their beginnings. Think Marilyn Monroe or Black China. So yeah, the upward mobilityness of this is very American, very like follow your capitalist dreams. Money fixes everything. Get yourself a rich man and your life will be better. That kind of thing. Which, kind of true. Kind of true. Money does make your life better to a certain degree. What's the cap at? I think, have you ever seen that study? What is it? $750,000? Something like that. And then people who make more money than that that's like I'll send it to you. There's a scientific study that shows like a happiness curve, right? And it's income on one axis and happiness on the other axis. And everyone thinks that the line is going to go like this, because the more money you have, the more happy you are.
Yeah.
It goes like this.
Interesting. What?
and it starts tanking again. Once you hit like $1 million, it goes down again.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, damn. Rich people aren't happy. But up until that like 750K, it makes your life better and you are happier. It is what it is. That's just fact. But yeah, there was another thing about the American. Oh, yes, I did want to bring this up as well. How the movie, because it's a Disney movie and because they try to cheer it up and gloss over a lot of the dark parts that were originally in the script, the drug addiction,
Yeah.
murder, all of that. Another sex worker in the article said that it was kind of warming to see the way that Vivian's portrayed in this movie, because they said it was nice to see a sex worker who was depicted as desirable and dateable and not
Yeah.
just a drug addict or a nameless murder victim or a spectacle like the girl that was killed in the beginning of the movie. What were some of the other changes to the script that you read about?
So the original story plot, it was gonna be called 3000, but
Mm-hmm.
they thought it sounded too much like a scientific type of documentary. I guess you mentioned she originally was going to be addicted to drugs, and the one scene, this reminded me of you, the one scene where she's caught flossing. That
I was
scene.
like, that one
Yeah.
was for the flossers right there. That's
Yeah.
me right. But I'm not ashamed. I will floss anywhere, everywhere. You know that.
Yeah.
I will floss
Yeah,
in
you
the movie
have
theater,
on
at
my
my
living
desk,
room floor.
in your living room. I will
Yeah.
floss in my car. I don't care.
Yeah, but that scene originally, he was going to walk in on her doing drugs.
Yes.
And I like that they flipped that. I like that they gave her
I'm
that
glad
character.
too. I'm
Yeah.
really glad that they don't push that angle so hard of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so bad to be a sex worker, and isn't she so disgusting, and her life is doomed. The dead hooker trope, they call it.
I love how logical they make her character and that she's a sex worker. She's like, yes, this is a easy way for me to make money.
Yep. It's my
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's work. I don't remember if I brought this up earlier, but I meant to. I think I talked about how successful it was, but this was the #1 movie at the box office for a month straight, which would never happen nowadays. Hasn't happened nowadays. And God, I couldn't even tell you how long. It's got to be over a decade, I'm sure. #1 at the box office for a month. It was in the top 10 at the box office for 3 months. Maybe even longer. Maybe it was 4 months. It was 3 or 4 months in the top 10 at the box office.
I didn't want to look up how much money it made. It made so much freaking money.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the biggest movies of 1990, if not the biggest. I think if Home Alone came out that same year, that's probably beating it. I know another Die Hard movie came out that year.
Box office success was 463 million worldwide.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy. That's the same amount of money that Sinners made.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But with inflation, I'm sure it's more than that, you know. That's probably closer to 700 now in today's money. This movie was a phenomenon, like I said. I just love that. It doesn't happen anymore. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
And speaking of not making them like they used to, I love seeing the old LA landmarks in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's real Los Angeles. Like, you're really outside. There's no fucking green screen. You're not on the hotel room stuff, all of that is a movie set, but all of the exteriors in this movie, really LA, like real San Francisco. It's so cool to see. I love when things are shot on location. A lot of these landmarks don't exist anymore, is the other point I wanted to make. Like the scene where Hector Elizondo's character is teaching Vivian how to use the salad fork and the shrimp fork, and where everything goes on the table, and her little like etiquette classes that she's having. That was shot at the Ambassador Hotel, which was demolished. It doesn't even exist anymore. A lot of the stores that you see in this movie are just fucking parking lots now. It's so depressing, but LA must have been such a vibe back then. Like it made me want to go back to California so bad. I was like, I've been on that part of Hollywood Boulevard. I stood where they're standing, like
Wow.
right there. I was like, I've been there. It was really cool.
Maybe she picked up that accent from Kit.
True. Kit does have a New York accent. I think Kit is. Oh, that was another change from the original script. This was originally supposed to be a New York story, not an LA story.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Vivian was supposed to die at the end
Mm-hmm.
of an overdose, and they changed it. They're like, nah, get that out of here. So
Yeah.
I think moving it to the West Coast, but keeping Edward as a New Yorker and having Kit as a alleged New Yorker,
Yeah.
we don't know, but Kit DeLuca, come on.
Kit DeLuca. Awesome
DeLuca.
name. Such a cool name.
Yeah, very, very East Coast. It was just so cool to see. I wanna go back out to California and see that
Yeah.
stuff.
I love any type of movie that where you get to see the stars on the Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, I know. I kept thinking about like the substance.
What little moment affected you most?
So there's a moment right at the end, between Kit and Viv, that I fucking loved. So it really just shows the kind of effect that positive words have on people, and how speaking good to each other and speaking good into each other can really inspire someone. So first, Edward does it to Vivian when he says like, you're a very bright and special person. And then at the end, when Vivian is packing up her things and saying goodbye to Kit, she basically says that same thing to Kit, and they say goodbye. And then immediately it's like a light went off in her. The next scene, we see Kit doing it to another woman on the street. Did you catch that?
At the very end, like when she's trying to find a new roommate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that girl is named Bridget. I'm not positive, but Kit says, "Oh, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to be? I see a lot of potential in you. Like, how do you feel about yourself? Like, just that way that by Vivian's example, Kit turns around and treats another woman the way that Vivian treated her, with like love and admiration, and just being like a listening ear and like a good support for her. It was just like such a tiny little thing that's happening in the background. I think while Edward is trying to find Vivian so they can have their big romantic moment, and I'm like, no, what's going on back there? I love that. I love that you could actually see the immediate effect that Vivian had on Kit's life. I just thought that was a nice touch by the writer, by J.F. Lawton. And what about you?
I love when I make these connections, but Amy from Little Women, I guess the socioeconomics of it all, and her understanding the status that she can gain from this man. Like it's the same concept here.
Absolutely. Yeah, like 150 years later, it's the same. It's the same. Basically, Vivian gives a version of the "I'm just a woman" speech. Yeah. I love that. That's a good call. Yeah, we've made a lot of connections this episode to other movies that we've covered, which is always a fun exercise.
So what emotions does this draw out of you?
So as a first-time viewer, like I said, there was a lot to like, and I was able to find those little moments of tenderness and of people connecting with each other, which I love to see on screen. And what I think it made me want to see, and I've seen it in other work, more modern. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but Tilly Lawless, who was one of the sex workers that was interviewed for that Mary Claire piece, she said that what she would find truly radical and would love to see more of is a rom-com where the sex worker has a supportive partner, and a partner that supports their work, doesn't expect her to sacrifice the work, recognizes that work sex is work sex, which is different from private life sex, and how revolutionary that would be to see a sex worker who's treated on screen with a little more dignity and agency.
Yeah.
And how nice it would be to see a sex worker who likes what they do and isn't looking to be saved by a quote unquote knight in shining armor from a tower. Yeah, that last scene, like, it looked great. It was so classic Hollywood when he's climbing up the fire escape, just very classic, like 60s romantic kind of look to it. It was very much giving like West Side Story.
Yeah.
It was super cute, but like just the message of that is like, yeah, give up everything and just be with me, and I'm going to make your life better because I'm better than you. Bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
A lot of these old school romances are really tough for that. It's just not realistic.
I appreciate that I loved watching these movies when I was younger, but now that I'm an adult and I'm like conceptualizing the things that I watched when I'm younger, I can, I guess, edit out the bad stuff and keep what I want.
As a female viewer, I don't want to say turn the feminism off, like turn our brains off, turn the feminism off, but sometimes to enjoy things, yes, that's what has to be done.
Yeah.
In this movie is a good example of that. You can't, it's like I said, it's made by men about a man.
Yeah. Like working out the, I guess, misogyny of it all and still finding what to enjoy.
Yes, there is a lot to still enjoy about this movie, and I'm glad I saw it for the first time, so thank you for making me watch it. I was like, oh, this is easy. Like, it was just an easy breezy, very cute, but, very condescending look at sex work and womanhood, but what are you gonna do? So what other works do you have that would fit well with Pretty Woman?
Well, I mentioned Runaway Bride because it's another Richard Gere, Julia Roberts. Just another everyone's falling in love with Julia Roberts movie. Also Closer, have you seen that?
Of course I've seen it. Yes. You bring this up you brought this up like 3 times. Yes, I've seen
it. Oh, really?
Yes, you've asked me before too.
Also with Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I was 16 when this came out.
Also has some weird age stuff.
Yep, the Natalie Portman. Who is she with? Natalie
Jude
Portman
Law.
and Clive. Oh, is she with Jude Law? Right, because Clive Owen is with Julia Roberts. Yep.
Yeah.
And then they do like a little swap-a-rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is very good.
Yeah, I would
probably
say
super
that
problematic, but
Closer is like the darker version of Pretty Woman.
Yeah, for sure. And Natalie Portman plays like the young sex worker in that movie.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I also said Made in Manhattan.
Yep. I was gonna put that too.
Another woman that has so much potential but needs to be saved. But
by a rich white man.
Yeah. Yeah. I also said Cinderella just for fun. Yep. We could say Bridgerton, the new season of Bridgerton.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, season 4 of Bridgerton. I was thinking about that a lot. When he says, like, what does he say? Will you be my mistress?
Yeah.
Because Edward in the movie does the same thing where he's like, well, I'll put you up in an apartment and then you just like sit around and wait for me to come back out to the West Coast. And she's like, no. Like a pet? No. But yeah,
Yeah.
fuck ass Benedict tried to do the same thing
Yep.
in Bridgerton. Oh, I hate that man. Well, actually, don't hate that man, but I hate Colin.
Benedict. Oh my God.
I fucking hate Colin.
I just saw something about where someone was comparing who Colin looks like a
Oh,
character of some sort. I cannot
was it the
remember.
drawing with the eyebrows?
I
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the meme. Hold on. I know.
There's some type of character that he looks
like eyebrows. Like, girl, someone just sent that to me. Hang on. Colin Bridgerton cartoon. The the snowman. The snowman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
And does. He does.
Oh my God. Such a punchable face. I hate Colin.
I fucking hate him. Oh shit. I think I saw that on TikTok or something. I was fucking dying. But yes, Bridgerton season 4, absolutely. If we're gonna do some TV too. So for my recommendations, I already mentioned a couple of these. I had She's All That, American Gigolo, of course, Honora.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Honora is the dark 2024 version of the story for sure. Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I always forget that Holly Golightly is a sex worker because it's the 60s and they can't really show it, or it's very like sideways implied that she's a sex worker in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but that movie is also about a hooker with a heart of gold. So with a big, shopping scene and jewelry and all that. So Breakfast at Tiffany's is one of the blueprints. Did I say Can't Buy Me Love? Can't Buy Me Love is like the 80s rom-com version of this. Again, rich guy who like buys a girl basically to like date and then they fall in love, I'm pretty sure. Princess Diaries, which is the same story basically, but a teenager who's royalty, not a sex worker. Also directed by Garry Marshall. Hector Elizondo is playing the same character.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That's also I really loved this movie because
it's also a Disney movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Princess Diaries is basically the teen version of Pretty Woman. I had Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
I love that movie.
Me too.
I love that movie.
You want to talk a movie I watched all the fucking time growing up? That was one of them. Oh,
that's such a good one.
I was obsessed. Thank you. Yeah, because it fits with the time period. I was thinking more of the like fashion of it and how it's like sort of a makeover movie, but she's making over herself. The lead character is Christina Applegate, who was like the love of my life at that time. Kelly Bundy. Woo. She is so beautiful.
That is such a good recommendation. I feel like these two movies, like the first time seeing them, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm in love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, a great like early 90s like whack ass fashion movie. Yeah. Right on top of that, Rose. So for my last one, it's a short film, which I don't think I've ever recommended before on this show, but we just watched this in Victoria's girlhood class at Night School Bar. So this is a 2022 short by the director Sue Ding called Makeover Movie. And it's a little short pop culture essay on makeover movies and the ways that they taught us that we needed to fix ourselves. And who we're fixing ourselves for. So definitely want to recommend that. It was a great primer for the first week of the girlhood classes that we're taking right now at Night School Bar. So we watched Makeover Movie, and then we led right into Freaks and Geeks and My So-Called Life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was perfect. So definitely very relevant to the Pretty Woman discussion. So yeah, that's Pretty Woman.
So, what's our next episode going to be?
So our next episode is going to be That Thing You Do, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And I'm so excited for our guests. So we're going to have Dan Grimsland on for that one, who's one of my best friends for the last 15 years from back home. Dan, you might remember his name because he did the music for our Sinners episode, those beautiful little guitar intros and outros. That was Dan. So he's going to be on for a big kind of musician touch point movie. So Dan will be on That Thing You Do. That's our next episode.
I don't think I've seen That Thing You Do.
Oh
I've
my
never seen it.
God. Oh, so we're doing a first time watch for you next?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Lindsay, you are gonna. I'm so excited. I will bet money you're gonna love this movie.
Oh, I hope
You're
so.
gonna love this movie.
I really need this right now.
She said, "Bitch, I'm desperate. I need this."
I need this right now. A musical that I would like, please.
Yes.
I need that.
Yeah, and it's directed by Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I have not seen this before, which is wild to think about.
I didn't know that. So thank you everyone for listening. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Post Film Clarity Pod. All of our episodes are closed captioned on our YouTube channel. You can email us at postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Letterboxd at postfilmclarity. There's a list of recommendations and referenced work from this and every episode. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, honeys.